How to skate on thin ice to supersize your business. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and our idiom today is skating on thin ice. This is one of those idioms that I have personal experience with, I have family history and experience with, and I also know a lot of people that have experience with this particular idiom. It of course means to be doing something that is dangerous or involves risk. Something that could be dangerous or involves risk. Comes from Holland, also known as, or now known as the Netherlands, where skating originated. And Ralph Waldo Emerson used it in 1841 in one of his essays called Prudence, and that made it even more popular. He used a slightly different version. I think it was to be doing something that is, never mind. He said, in skating over thin ice, our safety is in our speed. Now that one really has applications for business, right? When we know we're doing something that is risky or a little bit dangerous, the important thing is to do it fast, to do it faster, to take quick action and make sure we're moving as quickly as we can so we don't fall through the ice, so we don't fall prey to the dangers or the risks that are inherent in things like starting a business. Things like surviving and keeping your business going during a pandemic. Who on earth would have believed, any of us, that in 2020 we would be facing a pandemic? We'd be having to figure out how to keep our businesses going, how to continue to serve the people that we're here to serve in ways that we never dreamt possible. How do we get creative and keep moving forward and solving problems and taking care of our families and our lives during these crazy times that we're living in? Yet millions of us are figuring it out. Millions of people are struggling, but more and more people every day are figuring out it is possible and that there are ways to continue to move forward no matter what is going on in the world around us. Absolutely, positively, no matter what. So skating on thin ice, what does this mean? It of course means if you're doing something risky. If you've ever started your own business, you understand, and if you're growing your business, and if you're living in 2020, you understand that we are all at any given time skating on thin ice. And our job, our purpose is to figure out how to navigate the world around us, and especially with respect to our businesses. Now, I mentioned that I've had some experience with this particular idiom, and I think what it brought to mind for me the most today was that throughout business, not so much anymore, but in the beginning of my business career and in the beginning of taking on partners and growing businesses, I underestimated people's ability to be evil and to be mean and to hurt other people just for the sake of getting ahead themselves. You know, in corporate America, the corporate ladder, you know, people will step on you and around you to advance their careers. Well, it happens in business, probably even more so. People will do things to harm you and hurt you and stomp on your business, and I underestimated that. I am one of these people that believe, you know, I trust everybody until they do something to hurt me. And early on in my career, that is true, totally what I believe in both my corporate career and my business life. I believe that everybody wants to do good and make the world a better place. How naive is that? Now, I choose to continue to believe that because I think it makes me look at life in a much better way than people that are cynical and think that people are just out to get you or out to hurt you or there's too much competition. I learned and adopted the idea a long time ago that my only competition is me being a better version of me in the future, and that our businesses are just, they're what they are today, but we're always continually striving to make them better in terms of how we serve people, how we show up in the world, how we impact the world. We want to impact the world in a positive way. I was naive enough to believe that everybody felt that way. Yet, lo and behold, our world has got both good and evil in it, right? We live in a dual planet, a dual universe, where duality is a natural state and things like to balance. Well, I grew up and didn't really experience a whole lot of that when I was growing up. And so in the business world, I learned that sometimes you're skating on thin ice because you're not being aware of your surroundings. We want to make sure that we trust yet verify. So we trust people and situations and things, but we also verify the things that they're claiming and saying. And we make sure that we do our homework. We listen and we research, we use our mind. We also use our heart and our intuition. every time that I've ever gotten burned in business and in my personal life, I've always had that gut feeling, that instinct that something was off or something was wrong. And in some really big things in my life. And I ignored it. And every time I ever ignored it, it was at my peril. Something bad happened. I'm not going to go into the details, but every single time. And after about the third or fourth big bad thing that happened, because I didn't listen to my intuition, I finally started to respect and listen to that still small voice that's saying, yep, this looks great on paper. This sounds good. Your research and the numbers look good, but there's just still something off. And when I listen to that, I make the right decisions. When I don't, sometimes I squeak by and I'm okay, but there's always that possibility that something just isn't right. And I find out when I'm in a position where it's worse than if I'd found out and not made a choice or a decision earlier on. We all make mistakes. I used to tell my kids when they were growing up, for some reason when we're young, we think that we are absolutely positively invincible. In high school, I remember thinking this every time. In high school, I thought it, and then I noticed it as I grew up and aged. Kids in high school think they're absolutely invincible. Invincible. Some feel invisible, but invincible. They feel like they can pop 12 kids in a car and drive somewhere. They can go to parties. They can do whatever. They can pull pranks, and nothing bad's going to happen to them. And we believe that, of course, until something bad happens to us or somebody we love and care about. And then we realize, oh, maybe we are not indestructible and invincible after all. Some people risk their health. Some people risk their relationships. I risked my health by not exercising, not eating right, not taking care of myself, not getting enough sleep, and working all the time, because I didn't realize that the long-term impact of that behavior wasn't worth the short-term gains that I achieved when I was doing that. And we all make mistakes and we figure things out along the way. I always told my kids, whatever you do, you're gonna do things that I probably wouldn't agree with, but whatever you do, don't make choices that could cause irreparable damage to you. And I say the same thing in my business to myself and the people that I work with now. We're gonna take risks. We're gonna skate on thin ice. We're gonna push the envelope, because that's how we grow and learn and serve the people that we're here to serve better. But we want to make sure we're doing things that don't cause irreparable damage to us. So we might do a project that seems risky to other people, and we're going to do it fast, right? The riskier it seems, the faster we're going to move on it, the faster we're going to do it, because it seems the bigger organizations get, the slower they move. The slower you move, literally, the more danger you're in. If you're being chased by a bear, I joke about this because I say I'm not going to run unless I'm chased by a bear. But if you're being chased by a bear, the bear's going to eat the person it can catch first, right? So you want to make sure that you're making conscious choices, doing your homework, doing your research, and moving quickly, and absolutely moving, not sitting still. No business ever is known for the excellence of staying the same throughout centuries, right? They don't last. The world is changing around us all the time, and we need to make sure we're changing right along with it. So I'd love to know your personal experience or your thoughts on this idiom, skating on thin ice. Do you like me think, yep, sometimes we're going to take risks and we're going to skate on thin ice, but we're going to do our homework. We're going to tap into our brain, our feelings, our heart, and our intuition about it. We're going to trust, but we're going to verify, and we're going to continue to move quickly. Share in the comments below your thoughts on this, and I'll be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how might you use it to supersize and grow your business right now, no matter what's going on in the world? Take care.